Welcome to Jack Tar's Journeys, where we make do and mend. We make do with whatever we have and we mend whatever we can that's broken. All the materials I'm using in today's video, which is going to be a sleigh, was all destined for the tip. It was all offcuts or half a sheet that was a little bit past its sell by date. So I've rescued it, brought it home, and we're going to make a sleigh with it. So let's crack on. To make our sleigh, we take a piece of 12mm ply or ½ inch and just, I'm not sure whether you can see that, you can, I've just drawn my own shape on here. You can draw any shape you want. It looks sleigh-like. I've put the runner in the sleigh and the curls on the bottom, and I'll cut it out, and what's the worst that can happen? It's not very good, but I think it'll look okay. Let's cut it out and show you when we finish it. So there's me cut out from what I'm going to use as a sleigh. Put a couple of marks on here. You'll have the seat back coming inside it here. I've got to cut out yet for the sleigh part, for the runners. And then what we basically do is get a couple of just join this using timber. I'll show you that in the next part of the video. I'm going to cut the other one of these out, the other side out anyway. So we've cut out our sleigh already, and now what I'm doing is making the curved front to it. And all I've done is I've ripped on an angle just pieces, smaller pieces where it's a more severe bend, and that basically just goes on here. So that will sit on there like that, and I'll try and cut smaller ones with different, more acute angles and bring it round, and the idea is to form it right the way over if I can. So that's the intention. That's what I'm going to be cutting in a minute. I've got a bench saw, a small bench saw, and I've got a small bench plane, and those two, a standard plane would do, you know, and a skill saw or a circular saw, but I've got them here, I'll just well use them. So that's where I am with this so far. I will get these cut and then come back and show you what they're like. I glue them together. All I use is mitre spray, so mitre mate, something like that. You can get it from most hardware shops. Right, let's get on with it. So this is where I've got to so far. I've cut and glued so it comes all around. This edge here I'm going to round off, and the same with that back one. I'll probably recut this just to match it. It's not on properly yet, so it's still got bits in that to do, but that's it. The thing I do with these is, because I don't make a lot of them, I just do it as I'm going along, so each piece is just individually cut and shaped to fit, so it looks just about right. Yeah, it should look okay in a minute. Time I clean it all, put a bit more glue in it, and then sand off this, then I think it'll be fine. It'll look good. You wait and see. So I've got some sawdust and some wood glue, PVA, and all I'm going to do is stick some glue and sawdust and fill these gaps at the back. That's just where I spilt some. Right, let's give that a go. So I've put a load of PVA just in these top joints, just to give it a bit more strength. I've obviously, because that's a bigger one there, I've rammed a bit of shavings in there. I didn't have any sawdust. Usually sawdust better because it's finer, but it should work the same. Put a few layers in there, quite a bit of glue in. Tomorrow it should be gone off, so we'll have a look tomorrow. So I've formed the front of the sleigh, the curves and all that. I've just got to cut a few more to put down the back of here now. All I've done with these, rather than use a router, I just shot a block plane along there and give it a bit of a sand. It hasn't got to be perfectly rounded, but at least you get the idea. So that's going to be the front of it. It'll be shaped like that. This will come over here slightly, probably to about there, and then internally we'll have a piece of ply, and there's a timber patras that comes up here and secures all this together. So get on with that and I'll show you that. So here is our front of our sleigh. That's going to be on the inside. I'm just about to cut now the timber that supports this back. So it'll be square edge. That's what we use to fix it to the side of the sleigh. So I'll cut that, fix it, and then show you how it goes onto the sleigh itself. As you can see, I made the large one using the same method. So I've now cut out for the runners on the bottom of the sleigh, and then I've added a support for the floor with just 3 screws. They'll be filled in with wood filler, which I've got. So I'll get the other side done. I've also cut the 2 supports for the front, which are just shaped to basically what's there, and I'll pin them through from the front with some small wire brads, pin them through and fill that in, and then what we'll do then is we'll have a piece of ply coming up the back of that, and it covers all this nastiness and ugliness, and just finishes it off on the inside. So that's where we're going next. So we've done that, get the other one done. I'm waiting for my battery to charge and I'll pin these on. We'll be ready to start cutting the floor, the seat, and then start putting it together. Shouldn't take long now. So after fitting the front to it, I've got some, you can see just around all the edges, I've got to reshape it. Sand it all back, so I'll cut it, sand it, then I've got to put a floor in and a seat back with a seat in it, and then it's just about finished. On my last one I done a routed overlay, just a small overlay that went round the perimeter. This is the overlay that I made for the big one, but because this is so small it's just a little bit much. So what I'll do is when I paint it, I'll put a nice painted bead all the way around there, I think. But he's getting there now, but you can see the shape of it. This here, you fix through the top of here on this. On the inside, I'll cut these 2 pieces of timber, one for this side and one for the other side. And it's just 2 screws each side holding that together. Down the bottom you'll notice this little piece here. What that does is I've put that in and molded it around the front. Basically that stays in there when you take it apart, and when you come to put it back together again next year, it just sits straight on top of that, and there's no trying to line it up or anything. It's already done. So that's how that works. Obviously I put these runners on literally just to put the floor on. Nothing spectacular, but they'll look all right when it's all painted up. This is the large one at the same stage when I was building that. Yeah, I think it looks okay. I did pin to the boards that support it, so the 2 mattresses that hold it, I've pinned it, so they're fine. Still got a bit of work on it left to do, like I say, to clean it all up, cut all the rough edges off, reshape this just so that it looks right. But I did only cut it roughly. It was all drawn by hand and there's no template for it. It's literally whatever size you want, which is what I've done. So what we've done so far, we've got the front on. Not finished yet, we've just got to cut the back of this bit. I've built, or I've cut, the floor pan for it. Now what I'm going to do is, I had some timber left off the big one I've done. I painted up too much of it, so I'm just going to pin these down onto this, and they will fix up the sides of here, and that will form the back of the seat. Then all we've got to do is form the seat and the front of the seat. That's just about going to be it. It's just a case then of finishing it all off. Like I say, cutting this down, sanding it all, giving it a coat of undercoat, and then start painting it. So I did round these off a bit with a sander as well. I give it a little going over with a sander. So a bit of filler in there, it'll look lovely. Right, so I'll crack on and get these fixed. Get ready to fit that, and then it's just the seat base I've got to make. Right, let's get on. The only difference with the large one was it was bigger, so I was able to round it over using timbers, which you can see in these photos. So I've put the back of the seat in, so he's starting to take shape now. It looks a bit more like a sleigh. Only thing I'm going to do is put a piece of timber across the top of here, just to finish that off. Rub it all down, sand it all off, and I may put a piece of ply down this face here as well. I'll cut one for there. So all I've got left now is the seat, which will come out and go down. Just a couple of pieces of ply or something similar. I'll cut them, fit them, and I'll cut that and that, and we'll see where we are then. So there's the seat cut. Just got to cut that one and that back one. So there's the ply on the inside. It just neatens it off. I just give it a quick go over with a plane and a sander. It just finishes a little bit. So that's that. Just got this piece on the back to do now. And then I think we're ready to strip it, cut it, sand it, finish it, really. Let's have a look. Well, there he is, built up. Yeah, he's done. Unfortunately, me deer, I think I've made the wrong size. They're too small. They're too small for him. When I first started, I did do a smaller one, and I thought that's too small, so I made a bigger one, but I didn't make the reindeer bigger. Now I'm going to have to make two more bloomin' reindeer. It's lucky that I suffer from the curse. Many of you suffer from it. It's called the "that'll come in handy someday" curse. So I've got bits of ply and there's all sorts that I've got. So I'll probably just look around and see what I've got, make another one of them. But I think his bum needs to be up about that high. Yeah, he's not going to be. They look more like a dog pulling it than a reindeer. Anyway, just got to sand them all off, finish them all up. Round this over a bit, round that over a bit. Do some filling and then paint it. It's a shame to paint the wood, but it's got to be red and gold, and red, green and gold. It's a bit like a song that, Boy George, in red, gold and green. Never mind, he must have been talking about Father Christmas's sleigh. Right, onwards. I've painted the other side. I've painted the the front. Back? That's the front. Painted the other side of that one. That's the bottom. That's the inside of the front that goes behind that. I just need some green paint. I'll get some tomorrow. Just for, basically, I've got to paint the seat, and I've also got to paint the back for it. I'm also going to put a piece of ply on that back as well, just to tidy that up so it neatens it all. And then put it back together, it's all finished then. So not a lot. So I've painted and glittered up. Just got to brush it off when it dries off on that and that. I've sprayed the seat back and the seat itself. It's not the colour I wanted, but it's a colour I had in the garage, so I thought I'd just use it. So I'll see what it looks like put together. If not, I'll just get another can of spray and spray it. So this is our sleigh. I think the green's a bit too green. It's got this glittery, doesn't show up brilliant on the camera, but it's very sparkly. Yeah, it's not really showing up that sparkly, but it is very sparkly. Maybe get a bit more glitter on it. I don't know whether to put some glitter down through here. And through there. Yeah, I might do that. The green's not as green as I wanted, but it's what I had, so it'll just have to make do. But that's basically our sleigh. There's our little sleigh. The reindeers. Started painting that one, but I keep changing my mind on the colour. The reindeer are definitely too small, so I will make a smaller sleigh for those two reindeer, and I'll make two bigger reindeer for this bigger sleigh. Well, I've been round and put some of the stuff I put on my soldier, which is just a ribbon, and around here and across the top. These are just Christmas beads. This will be for the reindeer. Yeah, and what I'm going to do now is give it a coat of clear lacquer over the whole lot, so it should keep all this nice and fresh and preserved, and leave it on. That's just about finished really. So I've got the gold on the outside, maybe something else with the seat, but I'm not sure yet. I think that looks fine as it is. Yeah, so got a couple of little bits to cut over there, but I'll just wait for that to dry before I cut it. I'll probably do something with the seat, I think. I was going to put a cushion or something there. Anyway, that's our sleigh done. So there's our little sleigh with a few lights on. That's our bigger reindeer that I've not long made. That's his little brother. I do hope you've enjoyed the making of this. It would be very good if you would like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. I don't think it would have been fair if I didn't show you them with the three of them on. Ooh, my shadow. Rudolph, Dasher and Prancer, I suppose. And the last one, who was we missing? It's a bit... he's a bit big, but he's the only Father Christmas I had. Ho, ho, ho. Had too many mince pies.